Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. I was talking to myself for like 30 seconds. Right. I hope you guys were able to check out Dr. Green Gorilla's stream last night. It was a great stream. Dr. Green Gorilla did a live stream on intersectionality. It was kind of a rough draft, so my response is, appropriately just a rough draft also. Um, and it was just really good, right? And he kind of went into the origins of um intersectionality, Kimberly Crenshaw, obviously, right? Um, and he showed Adolph Reed. Pause for the cause. If you're a black lefty and you don't know who Adolph Reed is, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. Um, Adolph Reed does a lot of like class conscious talk and a lot of like talk of labor, right? And he calls the left out for its shortcoming and its failings, and like engaging too much in the culture war, like somewhat weaponizing race talk instead of class talk. Um yeah, and he, like you can see here, essentially calling these people out for not really using race to advance black people, but using race to advance themselves and to beat up on um elite white liberals and try to shame them, right? So yeah, shout out to Adolf Reed. Um, and yeah, so you know, Green Gorilla gave us some of the origins of intersectionality, and he actually gave me the language that I was looking for when we talk about when I say often, these people think they're morally superior to everyone else. They think because they're black and they're women, that gives them a certain perspective, because of the multiple oppression on them, the intersecting oppressions. And now, um, because of that, they're morally superior to everyone else because, unlike everyone else is seeking power. But black women aren't seeking power, they're seeking justice, right? And now that we know it's called standpoint epistemology, which, by the way, I realized that FD Signifier also mentioned that, but he didn't say standpoint epistemology. He said standpoint theory, right? But yeah, so um it it has been weaponized to beat up on black men, as Dr. Green Gorilla said. It originally started as something that was projected outward, and then it quickly became something that was intra-racial, not interracial, but intra-racial. And that obviously um hurt black men, right? That actually did black men a grave disservice because it was black women of this caliber, right? We're not talking about all black women because all black women do not occupy these kind of spaces, but it allowed black women to add on to white supremacist language by saying, yeah, you know what, the black man is the boogeyman. And let me tell you how he terrorizes, I'm saying it like that on purpose. He terrorizes black women, right? Because remember, we're black and we're women, right? So yeah, so and now black men are in this weird place, and it's not only in academic circles anymore. It's not only academia that has this concept. Black academics, in particular, black female academics, that have this concept that black plus woman equals morally superior to everyone else, including and most particularly black men, right? Black plus women equals morally superior to black plus man, right? Black plus XX chromosome is morally superior to black plus XY chromosome, right? and standpoint epistemology. So something I also wanted to emphasize is what Dr. Green Gorilla, and not really Dr. Green Gorilla as much, but Dr. Green Gorilla and Adolf Reed was saying was like, yeah, so these people, and when you say something, let me actually make a slight caveat to say this. When you say something, and you realize like the academics have been saying it before you, or that you're saying the same thing as somebody notable in the field or expert, and you're like, oh, I might know something. Right? Wait a minute. I came to that all on my own, even though obviously other people, way more accomplished people, got there way before I did. But the fact that like I'm saying this thing and like, yeah. So what I kept on saying, and some of you might remember, these people are cowards, and they turn their back on talking about and fighting against and journaling and writing articles and doing whatever um against white supremacy in academia, right? They occupy these spaces, and what they then decided to do was to attempt to protect their spaces in academia. Number one, by weaponizing their position against black men, particularly straight black men. Number one, but number two, they did this for the money, right? And number three, this is me now speaking. Many of them did this for whatever gripe they had coming out of their childhood, out of their adolescence, right? Now, this is something that I stress a lot of different places, and it's I think I have a couple of other people in the Black manosphere that say this. Look, these people, their intimate or lack thereof relationships so thoroughly inform them they can't see outside of that. They can't. All they do is intellectualize their misandry, their anger, their rage at the now black men that were once upon a time black boys that overlook them. And I know, like people like Mr. Z, you go to this every single time. Is it really that serious? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What are y'all learning from the therapists? We have two therapists now, right? What did we learn a couple of years ago when we had to run that attorney off, right? When you hear Kim Foster speak, what are you learning, right? That's why I told y'all, let them talk long enough, and eventually they'll tell you, well, when I was 16, and there we go. I've said this to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. I've said this to BGS. I've said this to Dr. Ron O'Neill. I've said this to Green Gorilla. I've said this to FD Signifier, right? These people will be academically accomplished. They will be educated. They will be doing well for themselves. They will be self sustaining. And much of their gripe with black men is not because of any type of physical abuse. It has nothing to do with somebody like tapping them on the shoulder. They're minding their own business, right? And being like, by the way, I just want you to know you're ugly. I just want you to know you're absolutely hideous. When I looked at you, I wanted to throw up. Black men are not doing that to these women or to even the girls when they were girls. But whatever gripe they have, whatever they feel, look, I'm not being rated the way I should be because of my skin tone. And there it goes. When you listen to Ostefco talk, at least she had the ovaries to actually say it. Chrissy won't say it, right? At least the young lady, I'll call her a young lady, the young lady that chills with Herbert and them over there, in upstate New York, and BGS asked her to talk, and she was like, well, it all started when I was 15, and there you go. and this woman has kids, right? You let them talk long enough. And so now they have degrees. And now white supremacist society on the left in academia, it's also encouraging them, hey, you want to, I've said it before, right? Hey, you want to keep this position, right? Or you want this position? What are you going to do to keep it? What are you going to do to get it? Well, you better don't be talking about us over here, white society. You could always talk crap about black men, right? How about you do some of that, right? And by the way, nobody's saying they overtly tell women this. Now, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if we did find one or two stories when they actually did tell a black woman overtly. But nobody, they don't got to tell you like that, right? If you think it got to be that on the nose, grow up, right? But you better believe everybody know what it is. You take the dynamics of white society, you paint it black, and you say, look, we're going through the same thing, but worse because we're black. Look, the black man comes home, his food isn't on the table. I said this, I'm gonna do this whole thing again for those of you that remember what well, let me do it and then y'all remember. Look, the black man comes home and his food isn't on the table, and then he physically abuses us. I thought the black men weren't in the homes, right? And then he abuses the kids. Wait, I thought the black men weren't in the homes, right? And then he insults our looks. I thought the black men were in the homes. And then he leaves us for the white women. Well, I thought the black men weren't in the homes to leave you for the white women in the first place, right? So it's kind of this, strange bedfellows thing going on. And then when you count into it, like much of the language and lingo and concepts that came from the Combahee River Collective, like lesbian black women having a say so in like the dynamics between straight black men and black women, like some of their concepts leaking down into everyday pop culture thingy going on between black men and black women. And like you have supposedly straight black women using like borderline LGBTQ language, sometimes full blown LGBTQ language, right? To the point where they're in Selkis Ray's comment section sounding real same sex loving, right? Right. And you know what? Give me a second, Anubis. Thank you, Better You. And Better You said, "Who are these guys throwing these Mortal Kombat uppercuts for everything?" I don't know. Like these people talk about black men like, at least concerning black women, black men are these barely intelligible, you know, people with like, like our vocabulary spans like, I don't know, 5 or 6 words, and we're like these big dumb brutes, and we're mad at the world because we're not white men. We're mad at the world. We don't have like this white patriarchal power. Go check your online dating statistics to see who's actually jealous that they don't have white patriarchal power. Um, and it's not black men, dear black women, right? It's you. I'm sorry, I just had to hit it on the nose. They speak about black men like black men are these big dumb brutes, right? And we take off all of our energy and our anger and our angst and our rage on black women, right? We take it off on black women. We just come in just backhanding black women, just right. Like you said, better you uppercuts and haymaker, like just right. And of course, the white liberal woman wants to hear you say that. Of course, she wants to hear you say that. And definitely the white conservative women want to hear you say that too. And the white man wants to hear you say that. They might even chip you a few dollars to hear you say that. So everybody's in cahoots. Black women get to keep their positions in academia. White women get to secretly be turned on. White men get to be secretly turned on. Ugh, right? Meanwhile, Chris, you want to talk about my likeness, my image. Meanwhile, the black man's image and likeness further going into the dumps, which then inadvertently hurts black women because those same white guys and white women who are encouraging you to talk greasy about black men don't then turn around and marry you. Yikes. Right? And Anubis says, and thank you for the super chat. Anubis says, when I was 16, brother, when I'm telling you, like, for those of you that remember when Mr. Z first started making myself known on YouTube, I'm not gonna say I was the first, but if I wasn't the first, I definitely put a microphone to the fact, like, listen, y'all, listen. These women are talking like this because they still mad about who didn't want them in middle school and high school. And for those of you who remember, Mr. Z I've been saying, right? They still mad about who didn't want them in middle school and high school. Right? And like, yes, a lot of what they're saying, I mean, like, even down to the academics, to the professionals, to the attorneys, to the judges, have to do, let them talk long enough. I'm telling y'all, let them talk long enough. And somewhere is going to be, when I was 15, when I was 16, Khadijah done did it. Yanni done did it. Like I told y'all, the young lady that BGS was speaking to a couple years ago on with Herbert has done it. Kim Foster has done it. Y'all let them talk long enough, brother Anubis. When I tell you, let them talk long enough. When I was 14, when I was 15, when I was 16, and it always goes to the guys that I found attractive weren't checking for me. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, Steph Curry has done it, bro. Just let them talk long enough, and some black grown ass 20-something-year-old, 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old is gonna tell you about when she was 16 years old, 15 years old, 17 years old, and who wasn't checking for her. And as BGS said recently in one of his videos, it seems like everything for these particular people goes down to their vagina and their intimate relationships. And to BGS, I say yes. I say yes. Right? You let them talk long enough, and it always come down to that. Right? So you have, once again, you have black women who, let's be very clear, they got into academia coming out of the civil rights movement because white society cracked open the door just a smidge. And now it's time for them to protect their positions. And black men are on the chopping block. That's all. It's for money. It's to protect their careers, right? They ain't gonna they haven't challenged white supremacy. They haven't challenged capitalism. Once again, the Adolph Reed thing. And by the way, Adolph Reed has been saying this. Been saying this. Right? Like I say, I always, I probably, I can't tell y'all when I first started listening to Adolf Reed lectures and like his interviews and stuff, but it is, like it is good when you say something or when you think something and you feel something, and then like a academic like decades in the game, like remember Adolf Reed was part of the civil rights movement too, by the way, right? Like when a brother like that says it and you're like, wait a minute, I've been thinking this or I've been saying this, and like, yeah, right. So like at the end of the day, it comes down to that. And then yes, you could throw class into that also, right? You could throw respectability into that also. You could throw all that. You could throw in the envy of white women into that also, right? The myth of white womanhood. You could throw trying to, you know, throw your bid in for white men into that also. You could throw all of that in there. You could throw all of and all of that is how we get here. Y'all real we're talking about, and I said it, I said it. Your job wasn't to dictate and condescend down to black men about what they're not doing. Your job was to go into academia and set it ablaze. Your job was to keep your foot on these white racist women's neck, these white racist men's neck, not give them any breathing space. That was your job, and that is still your job that you're not doing. Your job wasn't to take white supremacist concepts, paint a black woman, and say, yeah, 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 you're right. But let me say it instead of you. Let me put my little black woman remix to all the rhetoric coming coming off of the plantation, coming out of Jim Crow, right? And Anubis also says, and thank you for the super chat again, brother. And he says, Clubhouse is the battlefield. It is. It is. I didn't see. Yeah, a lot of the craziest stuff we've heard in the past few years have come from Clubhouse. When we sneak and we listen to something and we record it, and you're like, oh my god, they're over here saying they turned on by watching white cops beat up on black men, right? They're over here telling you that they're purposely raising their granddaughters not to be attracted to black men. Like that's a real black grandmother saying that. That you're a dark-skinned little girl. Are you sure you want to be attracted? And then when that girl is 14, 15, 16 years old and she has a complex about her skin tone, everybody's going to point the finger at black boys her age and then the black men as she get older. Meanwhile, her grandma been filling her head up with this nonsense since she was a child. And they're admitting that on Clubhouse. They're over here having conversations with white racist cops on Clubhouse, telling the white racist cop how afraid they are of other black people in the black community, not just black men, other black people in the black community, because they're afraid that their racist, anti-black male concepts and ideas and rhetoric, that black people would have a problem with it. Wait. Go figure. Wait. Black people would have a problem with you sounding like a neo-Nazi about black men. Huh? Who would ever thunk it? Black people would have a problem with you sounding like a white racist person about black men. And so you don't speak like this in public to your friends and family. But you do come online and commiserate with other racist anti-black men, black women, and now y'all talking to a racist white cop. Huh? On Clubhouse. right? And you could tie all of that in because you imagine that grandma is somebody. You don't know where she works. We don't know what she does for a living. Need I remind y'all of the prosecutor that was pressing, black woman prosecutor pressing the white male judge for being air quotes too lenient on this young black man. And the judge never said black young man. The judge was like, we all make mistakes and and trying to be lenient. White male judge, remember, white male judge, let's say it one more time, white male judge. And the black woman pressed him. She was willing to get into a full-blown argument. So you see, the one time they do defy God is concerning you, Mr. Black Man. They're willing to define white God, white zaddy, when it comes to what are we going to do with the little Negroid? Excuse me, the little Negro. I said Negroid. I wanted to say Negroid. I mixed them up, and yeah. What are we going to do with the little Negro? And that's not the word they're using. So, Mr. Z, long-winded, roundabout way of saying this is what intersectionality becomes. It becomes trying to flip the power structure upside down by using the victimhood of black women, right? You try to flip the whole power structure upside down by implying and suggesting, but not actually outright saying most of the time, that because black women are black plus women or black cross women, intersection, right? That gives them a certain perspective that no other minority group has because they're further up on the ladder, right? If you're a black man, you're black, yes, but you're still a man. And if you're a white woman, you're a woman, yes, but you're still white. Other people of color don't count, right? This is really a conversation between black men, black women, white men, white women, right? And so intersectionality has informed us that black women, because once again, black plus women or black intersect women, those two marginalized groups intersecting to become this super marginalized group gives them a certain perspective that no one else can possibly have. And a certain sense of morality and a certain sense of justice and a certain sense of, fairness that nobody actually has, because white men are white plus men, so they're supermen, and they're trying to protect their position no matter what and actually advance it. White women are trying to be white men, right? And black men are trying to be white men. Black women, oh no, of course not. Let's just skip over the couple decades now of boss girl feminism. Let's skip over that and the fact that there's a whole lot of black women that was on that. We're gonna skip right over that. We're gonna skip over all the black women in the 90s too that were on that respectability stuff too. Shout out to Oprah. We're gonna skip over all the black women that were on some respectability shit when that was cool to be. That was on some boss girl feminism stuff when that was cool to be. We're gonna skip over all of that. We're gonna skip over all the black women that's now on some black women in luxury, no struggle love, right? Black women soft life. We're gonna skip over all of that, right? Because you remember, these black women are more moral than everyone else. They have the sense of justice, right? Where's your sense of justice when you buy it out the store and these clothes came from India and they work in them like slaves? Yeah, you don't care about that. Yeah. Huh? Where's your sense of morality when you're demanding that your man get you some crazy size diamond that some 8, 9, 10, 12 year old then got out and De Beers hoarded it and now you got it. Hoarded it for a little while and then put it back on the market and now you have it. Blood diamond was what I'm saying. Where's the morality then? Where's the morality then? Where's the sense of justice then? No sense of justice when it comes to your material goods, right? When it comes to you showing your class position by this big ass ring and these fancy expensive clothes, right? Nope, not at all. Right? Huh. So intersectionality, the group of people that have suffered the most under this concept is dun, da, 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 black plus man. Black plus XY chromosome. Black plus XY chromosome that's heterosexual, the straight black men. Right? Black plus straight black man. Huh. So a handful of educated, accomplished academic women has let this concept seep into pop culture and in the general black community, and now it's a race to the bottom. By the way, for those of you that have never peeped, or you never listen to your niece talk, or you never listen to some of these women talk when there's like, well, as a trans black, one-legged, kinky haired, dark skinned, heavy set black woman, I feel, right? And that's them qualifying their statement by saying, as a person with all these intersecting, right, ways of being marginalized in this society, my perspective is this. By the way, because of all of these intersecting marginalizations, my perspective is superior to yours. When they do that, all that pre-qualifying, that's what they're saying. Because all you can say, well, as a black man, when they spend about 10 minutes with the preamble, right, what they're saying is, as a person with these 8 billion type of intersecting oppressions, I feel when it take them about 30 minutes to get through all the things that's oppressing them. And by the way, y'all give the conservatives the weapon to beat y'all over the head with. It's so easy. Right? And thank you, Mr. Shug, to you exactly. What they're saying is you can't possibly relate to my experience, therefore it cannot be argued or judged. Yeah. And then they make sure to bolster some of that argument with what is it again? The personnel is political. So you really can't challenge what I'm saying now. Intersectionality plus the personal is political. And then you add to that, shout out to Namer, you know where I'm going. F your facts, right? F your facts. Oh yeah, Mr. Z bringing that back into the lexicon, right? And it was crazy when I was watching a clip from the grapevine, and a sister literally said something like that to a brother. He started bringing up the numbers. She was like, "I don't need the numbers." Oh, whoa. Or it wasn't I don't need the numbers. It was something more like F your facts, but those are not the words she said. She said F your facts, but those are not the exact words she used. And I was like, oh, you see, right? And it's just it. And so once again, great stream, Dr. G. Gigi that was a great stream. Shout out to Dr. Ron O'Neill that pulled up, right? Charles pulled up, Big Kev pulled up. What's the name of the other brother? He was the first one on. He was the first one on. What was his name? If y'all remember, because y'all put it in the comments, because I'll shout him out too. And then I was on. Yeah, great stream. And once again, oh, by the way, if I didn't say it earlier, thanks Dr. Green Gorilla for doing Black Manosphere Show of the Week last minute, right? And he was right. I sent that email out last minute, right? So, and he was able to do it, and thank you for being able to do that. But yeah, so and it, like I told you, the internet's gonna expose us all. In reality, we're gonna expose ourselves on the internet. These people got to run with white racist society's microphone for decades, and they got to hide in academia and keep on publishing their freaking theories and intellectualizing their misandry and trying to protect their position by intellectualizing how horrible black men are the worst thing on the planet. That's pretty much all they've been saying for decades in academia, right? We don't want you to kill them. Yes, we do. We don't want you to harm them. But by the way, in the black community, they're the devil. And now we have the internet, you know, makes it a little bit more difficult to keep on spreading those lies unchallenged. Y'all still got academia. The preponderance of mainstream media is still on your side. You still got them, right? But do you get to just run roughshod with the narrative? No, not like it used to be, right? Trell killed me. Exactly, Trell. Trell said, niggas ain't ish the textbook. Except, pretty much. Niggas ain't ish the textbook. That's all. Right? And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat. And Detroit says, exactly, which they got a teacher, 25-year-old, gassing her head up, got her saying, delete your black males and female babies with black men and procreate with white men, which she was listening to Sinji message. Bruh. And see, I gotta find that clip. If anybody remembers it or knows where it is, please put it in one of my comments, where Cynthia G pretty much said, like, straight up, like, yeah, I'm trying to what did she didn't say? She didn't only say destroy. Did she say, like, divide the black community? I'm trying to, like essentially she was trying to say, like, yeah, I am trying to destroy the black community. Like, why wouldn't I? Right? And it's yeah, it's just insane. And yes, these are real black people, real black women, right? And International Ronin says, and this is hysterical. International Ronin says, where do they get the drive to spread the lies? Ultima Energy. And I finally found a shorter way of explaining Ultimate Energy, because I gave y'all such a ramble last time. Ultimate Energy is essentially Black Air Force energy, but correlated, right? It's just black Air Force energy, just correlated. And because I was thinking about it one day, I was like, I should have found a way shorter way of explaining that, right? But yeah, but whenever you see non-black people describe it, know that in their mind is a black woman, because I'm telling you, when they're describing like the people that, like, oh, the person car look like this and they have eyelashes on the headlights, and they're driving like this and they're bumping their music, and you're like, they're describing a black woman. That's a black woman y'all describing, right? And white people, especially white dudes, they know how to sneak this. Oh, they know how to sneak this, right? So yeah, ultimate that hysterical international Ronin, right? But back to the topic at hand. Yeah, so we're just, look, now that we really have our legs, under us, and we're challenging and pushing back on these notions and these ideas, um, and we're actually questioning people's motives. They tell you to question the concepts, but not the motive. Bullshit. Oof, almost lost my religion. Well, I already said the word earlier, but still, BS. Oh, look, and talking about that, Dr. Green Gorilla was brought up postmodernism and post-structuralism. Look, that's one part of post structuralism that I am about. All these rules that they have about debate, I am for. Sometimes the concept of, like, you know not challenging the person's motive, or not questioning a person's motive, but questioning their concepts. Yeah, no, the reason why you're doing something, you're trying to tell me I can't question why. Screw whether you're right or not. If the reason why you're saying or doing something is toxic from the jump, oh no, oh, we're gonna talk about that, right? Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that, right? Because that is like a BS bogus rule from the jump, right? That is a BS bogus rule from the jump. Don't question a person's motive. Question why they think the way they think. No, 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 no. We're questioning their motive, right? Because a lot of these people don't mean well by you or by anyone. And they come up with these convoluted, you know, complex concepts just to keep them where they are. And I'm not just talking about black women in this regard, right? Or even particularly because we're not even talking about all black women with this intersectionality and whatever. Most black women don't even know what that means, right? Now they might play with the concepts, right? You would describe what it means, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah," they might agree with it if you described it to them, but most black women don't even, right? But as been stated by multiple people, far more accomplished and well spoken than me, these people are just trying to protect their position, bro. Like, they literally really did intellectualize their misandry. Like, shout out to Toya for that. Toya, they literally did that though. Right? They literally did that. Like, literally intellectualize their anti-black misandry. Right? And Better Use says, and thank you for the super chat, brother. And Better Use says, if intersectionality is co-opted by these groups to espouse racist rhetoric whilst shielding themselves, the way to fight it is to make the intersectional argument for black men and reset the table. I agree. I agree. And and Dr. Gigi, by the way, he was doing a bit of that, right? Right. You're the number one victim of white supremacy. Like, and this is like when you get into like oppression Olympics, right? And I really don't look. I will engage, but I really rather not. Like oppression Olympics, the race to the bottom, I really don't like pulling that. Well, Dr. Tommy Curry said this, and it's so true. It really is a race to like, well, they see your death and they don't see mine, and so that somehow means that your death matters more. What? They report you being murdered at the hands of the state more than they report me being murdered at the hands of the state, and that means that your life matters more. What are you talking about? You sound crazy. So what you're saying is you want the white man to be looking at you while he's killing you? I don't know. What are you saying? Right? Like you have an issue with the fact that the white media isn't reporting about the white folks that kill black women unjustly in the same proportion as they report about the white folks that kill black boys and black men unjustly, even though it's about 10 times more black men than black women that are killed unarmed by the state. I don't under what? Right? What are you talking about? Y'all wonder how we got BLM. What are you talking about? Hey, I know it's really you being murdered by the state and it's really your blood, but could we be the leaders of this movement, right? And like, by the way, write you out of the whole movement. Just use your face. But really, it's us running things, and then us that's gonna profit off of it. And then we're gonna be so corrupt that we're gonna buy these mansions over here on the low, and we're all LGBTQ, right? All the leadership, you know, and the founding members that were against all this BS, you know, they somehow magically be found in their cars burnt to a crisp. You know what, Mr. Z, yeah. We just Apparently, better you says you're privileged and oppressed at the same time. Z, right? Apparently, right? You know, second gear. Let me say it. BLM using the blood, lives, and memories of primarily straight black men for the advancement of everybody else, but straight black men. Right? From Trayvon's death to Michael Brown's death to Tamir Rice's death to George Floyd's death, right? Philando Castile. What was the brother in Louisiana again? The heavyset brother with the goals. Oh, his face is right there in my. Oh, goddamn. And the one in New York, Eric Garner's death. What is the brother's name? Goddamn, he was selling CDs. I forgot the brother's name. But yeah, his death. We're gonna use y'all death to advance whatever we got going on. That don't got nothing to do with you, right? Nothing to do with you. As a matter of fact, we despise you. Alton Sterling, thank you. Alton Sterling, thank you. Thank you, Trellin Namer, thank you. Right? Alton Sterling. Right? It is crazy. They're using y'all hear this? These people despise you, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna put this is not an all black woman thing. This is not even a most black woman thing. These people despise you, but yet they use your death, your blood, for the advancement of whatever the hell they got going on because the world don't care what they talking about. Right? Nobody care what Alicia Garza is talking about with her whatever the hell thing she got going on with whatever that person is. Right? Nobody care. You think Patrice Cullors got any Patrice Cullors? Nobody would care nothing about no Patrice Cullors if it wasn't for BLM. Nobody care about these people. Nobody care about them now. We just want our money back. James Crawford, another one, right? Jordan Russell Davis, another one. We can't keep on listening to them, guys, because we got to be here all day. And it's sad and depressing, that part too. Right? Right? Nobody cared. Bruh, Alicia Garza looked Ice Cube in the face like he was doing something wrong. Meanwhile, y'all chipping off millions of dollars. You had the, once again, that moral high ground. You had the unmitigated gall, the gumption, the temerity, the audacity. You could keep on going, right? To look Ice Cube in the face trying to play moral high ground when you know y'all chipping money off, right? Right? Then you try to pull a, you know, I've gotten death threats, bitch. What you, wait. Let's say even if you were legitimate, let's say, for argument's sake, let's say BLM legitimate. Let's say, what you thought you signed up for? Huh? What did you think you signed up for? Do you not see what happened to the old civil rights leaders? If you ain't built for it, move the hell out the way. Y'all ain't see the funny and the seriousness, but the funny that Dr. Green Gorilla made yesterday. His phone went off in the middle of his conversation. He said, "You know, when y'all start talking something real, you know, then Siri over here listening. Siri never go off. We be joking, but we don't be joking. We're joking, but we're not joking. Oh, I've gotten death threats, and what do you think about that? First of all, we're not supposed to be talking about you. Secondly, you signed up for this. If you about black people in America, you gotta know that that might mean that you got, right? How you think this end? If you really trying to make any change, which by the way, y'all not, get your weak ass off the stage then. Maybe Mr. Z is just that jaded, but I would be reading them death threats. I'll be reading them while eating breakfast. I would be reading them while eating breakfast. Babe, you got a stack of letters. It looked like it's death threats again. Oh yeah, you already know. If y'all don't get y'all lame ass the hell up out, man, get your lame ass the hell up out of here. Lame ass. Hey. Oh man, please somebody send this to Raj and timestamp it for him. Oh, Gender War Lore, you got the joke of the morning. Shrell, I think he got you this morning, Shrell. I think he got you this morning. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the Blood, Lives, and Memories, me and Raj came up with that offline, right? That's how we remixed the BLM, right? Blood, Lives, and Memories of Black Men that these people then use to do their own thing. But I think Gender War Lore got us on this one. And it's so simple and funny. It's simple, but it's funny. Ugh. Ugh. I'm not gonna lose my religion this morning, but I will say bees laundering money. Itches laundering money. Hysterical. I'll say broads laundering money. I'll say that. Broads laundering money. Oh, it's funny because it's true. Oh man. Bruh. Detroit came in with the buying large homes. Uh Duh, that was funny. Oh, that was funny. Y'all about to make me call Raj, wake his ass up just to tell him that that was like Gender War Lord got that was funny. Oh man, that's better than what we came up with. It's funnier than what we came up with. That's for sure. But for real though, that is what they're doing. I mean, you know it's real when she had to step down. If the accusations weren't real, she would have never stepped down. And then you know it's and then just to throw salt on the wound, y'all got the I gotta say unmitigated gall again. Now I'm starting like Stephen A. Smith. I'm starting like Stephen A. Smith now. Y'all got the unmitigated gall to then record yourselves behind a mansion, eating at the table, acting like y'all won something. What y'all won? Other than people's money. Bruh, hey, I be trying to tell them better you. The inner Haitian in me. I be trying to tell them in better uses. When it comes to turncoats and sellouts, 2 Cent was right. Hey, 2 Cent was the if either get down or lay down, and if you lay down, you gotta stay down. If there was a face for that phrase, it should be 2 Cent, right? 2 Cent literature should be the face of like either you're gonna get down or lay down, and if you lay down, you're gonna stay down. Like he really should be the face of that, for real. But this is who these people are. And we can tie all that back to intersectionality because when you read that original mission statement or memo from BLM, that's what it was. You write out the black man, he don't even count. He's not there. He's only there to provide his dead body so you could step on to get to white people's money. Right? You use his dead body as the carpet to walk on to get to white people's money. That's what black men are there for. So you don't even got to be written into the mission statement, right? And then you could go and do all your little perverse little family model things that you trying to get going on. By the way, FD signified, that's what I was talking about. I don't know how I'm gonna say this is just really just rhetorical, but I don't know how the hell y'all didn't realize what we realized after that mission statement leaked. If there was any doubt what these people were on, when everybody found out about that, it should have been no more questions. Right? But hey, they use that intersectionality to the T, y'all. Queer lesbian women who start a movement, air quotes, who start a movement. I don't even what. Anyway, who start a movement on the literal the backs of dead black men. And they despise black men. What? Right? Broads laundering money. They literally start a broads laundering money movement on the backs of dead black men. Gender warlord, hysterical, right? Broads laundering money using the blood, lives, and memories of dead black men. There, I just used both of them together. Wow. And y'all all what? All of you black lefties Watch that, and y'all were quiet as a church mouse. God damn, the men were right, and they were right in public. Nah, y'all don't really even be caring about that. Let me tell y'all what y'all care about. They were right in front of the white folks. They were right in front of the white folks. Let's be clear, y'all know what y'all really care about. That's exactly what it is, Nema. And Nema said it's called astroturfing Z, aka phony grassroots. That's exactly what it is because we already know who the funder of them was, or is, right? It all sounds like conspiracy theory when everybody George Soros, George Soros. Look, man, y'all just be given the right to win. Y'all give the right to W's. Rest in peace, Kevin. You can't make this ish up. Y'all give the right to W's. Every single thing the left does, the right is George Soros, George Soros, George Soros, George Soros. And then guess what? George Soros. Oh my God, y'all are the worst. Y'all are the worst. And then y'all laundering money. And then when y'all peep that y'all about to get caught, then y'all like, hey, we need to hide this. Y'all get caught sending messages to each other talking about where can we hide the money type talk. What, bruh? Oh man, this y'all are the worst. Y'all are the worst. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Jesus Christ. Wow. Man, I've heard Black Panther tapes. I've heard brothers beefing. Who was it when one of them was in Africa and the other brother was here and they were arguing. They was still you could hear the anger in their voice towards each other, but they were still referring to each other as brother. Like when the FBI sent one letter to this to the Black Panthers and then another letter to I can't remember what other civil rights group it was, and acting like this person said this about this person and that person said that about that person, and they just called each other. It was like, hey, did you say this? No, no, no. Did you say that? No, 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 no. Okay, it's probably the FBI messing with us, right? Type talk. And this is like 1970s, right? And these brothers are way more like aware and conscious and just like than you all square ass money laundering losers, right? That's crazy. Brothers wasn't even thinking that people would spy on them like that. And they not talking about laundering money. You want to know why? Because they weren't trying to launder money. It wasn't all about the money. That's why. Because they really meant the movement. You know, that part. That's half the reason they got killed, and that's why y'all alive. Right? They killed a 21-year-old, y'all, in his sleep. They killed a 21-year-old in his sleep. I'm talking about Fred Hampton. And Alicia Garza got the unmitigated gall to be talking to Ice Cube about some goddamn death threats. If you don't get your soft ass off the stage, I'm not saying I would wish that on me and my loved ones, but if I'm on that, that's what I'm on. Terrell said BLM's theme is cream. Cash rule everything around me. Get the cream. Dollar bill. Ah, y'all killing me this morning. Right? Man. Well, Trell, this is when you're supposed to bring up Animal Farm, bro. this is this is when all the Animal Farm quotes is supposed to be just raining down because you know these people. Wait a minute, aren't these people supposed to be anti-capitalist? Like Mr. Z be critiquing capitalism, but I promise y'all put $1 million, 10, 20, $80 million in Mr. Z's hands to advance black people in some way. Y'all not gonna find that in some storage room at my house. I promise you that. Plus, the type of stuff Mr. Z likes don't be costing all of that. Mr. Z's service fee what $80 million? What would my service fee be for $80 million? Let's say I took two, and the rest of it I'll have receipts. Hey, this one here, this one to this organization, this one to go help these people, this defense attorney here, this one for this one to go get kids out of prison that was protesting, this one here, right? We got receipts for everything. This went for to rent the bus to go to DC for this march. This went to that. These people over here get what are we gonna do with the money? What can we have the money? Can we buy houses? What? Yo, what? Oh, exactly, Trell. That's the one I was waiting for. Can't tell the difference. These people are supposed to be Marxists, so they say. Right? Jeez. Y'all supposed to be Marxists. Y'all looking real white male hyper capitalist to me. Right? I don't know. Bernie Madoff, Alicia Garza. Anybody know the difference? Right? No. Wrong person. Wrong person. Wrong person. Same Bankman Fried and Alicia Garza. Anybody know the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference between Patrice Cullors and same Bankman Fried? They both selling your product, shipping money off the top, right? Better you. Y'all got jokes this morning. Oh man, better you said they're not Marxists, they just Mark-ish. Oh, hysterical, man. Look, and the reason why we go in on BLM, for those of you that kind of missing the and Leon just got in, he said, "What did I miss?" Um, because we're talking about the stream last night. Shout out to Dr. Green Gorilla. Green Gorilla was the Black Manosphere show of the week, and he spoke about intersectionality. He gave us the origins. He spoke about the important people, the notable people, and Leon. Leon, you see what better you said? Better you said next time on Dragon Ball Z. Y'all know that. Side note, we gotta get into this real quick. Ain't nothing worse than a before a fight on Dragon Ball Z. Right? The suspense As a teenager, the suspense for Dragon Ball Z was the absolute worst. 30 minutes of talking. Let's take that back. Let's say the show's like 23 minutes long, right? So it's like 25 minutes of talking and preparing, then like 2 minutes of like suspenseful music and they're about to fight, and then like a minute of like about to fight for real, and then the first hit, and then next time on Dragon Ball Z. The worst. But yeah, so no, we're speaking about BLM because we're tying that to intersectionality. Because Dr. Green Gorilla streamed last night, and Dr. Green Gorilla was the Black Manosphere show of the week. So yeah, so that's what we're doing, right? And Dr. Green Gorilla did a masterful job, presenting this stuff. And for him, it was a rough draft, and it was still that was a really good rough draft for me. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Compassion in hella preparation montages. I mean, Dragon Ball Z was the worst, right? So that's all we were thinking about, and I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of commentary and context because I said something and I continuously tie this, and it's good to see BGS coming around to what Mr. Z been saying. I told you BGS had come down to their vagina, right? And their feelings about who didn't want them when they were in high school. Bro, when I tell y'all, at the latest, it come down to the 21-year-old brother that was driving their car and didn't put gas in it, right? These people, I'm telling y'all, they be all of 34, 37, 40, 42, right? Still talking about who wasn't checking for them when they were in high school. And I know y'all think that don't got nothing to do with intersectionality. Shit, all right, right? Y'all keep thinking that don't have anything to do with intersectionality. Yes, of course it's for the money. Of course the positionality. Of course they're trying to protect their position in academia. Of course. Of course they're trying to use this position of truly being a victim to exaggerate it coming from black men, right? Like black men are victimizing them. Not white society, not white racist society, but black men. Of course, all of that, add all of that, all of that. But also with all of that is who didn't want them in high school, right? I mean, we literally let a lesbian, because I don't know how to say, like a lesbian trans loving black woman. I don't even know how do you even describe Alicia Garza that was raised by a white stepfather. We let her be one of the faces of a movement that was built off of the dead bodies of black men and black boys. What? And when I say we, I don't mean us in the black manosphere. I mean overall black society. Why did anyone think that a bunch of queer black women gave a damn about black men, straight black men? What about Alicia Garza's face doesn't show you that she would have contempt for George Floyd if George Floyd ever walked into a BLM office talking about his struggles and talking about he needs some help? Didn't they also say that to kind of sideline black men. Wasn't that also in one of their memos to uplift the voices of the other air quotes marginalized people in the room and kind of sideline the black men, the straight black men? You want to talk about intersectionality? Well, yeah, Leon's right about this. He said, "No, we did not let her become the face of BLM," and you know it. They had that white communist come in, and those brothers got locked up on that gun charge. Most people don't know that. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Right. But then she became the face. One of the faces. Oh, how I forgot about Mr. Vestman, right? D. Ray D. Ray McKesson, right? How did I forget about that? Remember, did he get like a deal or a contract with some school where he was going to be making like 180 something, some crazy amount of money a year? So that's, I guess that's what you do. You make a big ruckus about something, the death of straight black men, and then you hope that white racist society somewhere buys you out, right? Right. So once again, dead black men are like a stimulus package for non-black straight men. Just talk about how closely you were related to that person, or that you got the same skin color as that person, and then somewhere, some way, you make some money off of the dead bodies of straight black men, right? For the advancement of everyone else but straight black men. Yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder said take some money. Oh, by the way, to all my content creators, because I'm gonna probably have to start hitting y'all up on Cash App. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Of course that happened. Wait a minute, y'all. My phone's acting retarded. I don't even know if y'all can hear me right now. It's like doing its freeze thing. Yep, it's freezing. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. I pressed some wrong things, and there we go. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. Okay, so oh, that's what I was gonna say. Oh, so all the content creators, by the way, the reason why y'all not getting super chats from Mr. Z, because I be wanting to super chat y'all, is I don't know what happened. Like sometime last year, my super chat function just it does not work. I cannot super chat. It says I'm either timed out or something like that, or something's wrong. So I can't actually super chat. And it just happened out of nowhere, right? Because if y'all notice at one point, y'all could see like Mr. Z was super chatting everybody like Art New Style, BGS. I was the first person to ever super chat Charles, right? When he finally opened up his super chat. I think I even super chat Dr. Thunder a couple times in the beginning, but like out of nowhere, it just stopped working. So I'm gonna have to hit y'all up on Cash App. But the thing is, I'll be wanting y'all to read my comments or see it. So like that's yeah, and see, that's the problem with technology. YouTube doesn't have a 1-800 number to call, at least not that I know of. If y'all know better, then put that in the comments for me too, by the way. Yeah. So yeah, because everything is like through email, like, and and I hate that. Like that's the old man in me that like, can I get someone on the phone so I can be a bit of an a-hole to them and like get this thing fixed, please? right? Yeah, it's like it's really annoying. Yeah. Anyway, once again, thank you for the super chat, Dr. Thunder. And Dr. Thunder said, take some money, right? And on that note, y'all, okay, so what did we learn? Intersectionality with some BS. That's what we learned, right? And like, if we're gonna be is do in a society where the motives weren't to screw black men with this, could we have said that black women had a certain perspective because they were black and women, and maybe they saw something that, or maybe they experienced oppression in a way black men didn't, and so that gave them a particular perspective? That argument could have been made possibly if we didn't know you were going to do this with it, right? I mean, it reminds me of Betty Shabazz kind of pulling Malcolm's coattails about, you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like, like, hey, right? Like, I'm hearing stuff you might want to, right? Like, like when I think about it, I think about that, right? Like your lady, because she's with the other women, right? She's hearing things, and it might be something that you might want to look into. But that's not where these particular black women took it. Now, is it? What they did was weaponize it against black men. So, you know, that, yeah. And to the point where they've bought into their own hype, and you have what's her name trying to son Marco Rubio in the debate, trying to mommy him. No, lady, that works in the black community, not for anybody else. That only works from black woman to black man, and it even is not working anymore. Right? The young boys are like, F you and your morality, and your moral high ground, and your mommying. Exactly. See, and better you said it like Facebook and Google don't have support lines to my knowledge. Yeah, man, it's annoying. Like you would think they want my little $5, $10, but you know they skim 30%, right? You would think they would, but yeah, all right, right. So they would want 30% of my $5 when I send it to y'all on a super chat, or $10 or $20 or whatever. You would think they would want that, but nah. So yeah. And on that note, once again, great, and thank you for being the Black Manosphere Show of the Week, Doctor Thunder. I mean, not Doctor Thunder. Well, Doctor Thunder was Black Manosphere Show of the Week once. What? Right? Yeah, yeah, he has been. But no, thank you for being Black Manosphere Show of the Week, Green Gorilla. Thank you very much. And like masterful job once again. I mean, like PhDs, all the PhDs, even yeah, of course, Dr. Thunder's here. All the PhDs. Thank y'all for being who y'all are. Like I mean that because you help to legitimize us, and some of you have had certain same experiences. And the way you present it, kind of smooths out some of the rough edges. That's the Black Manosphere. Um, it gives us a certain amount of heft and weight to what we're saying. Um, it makes it more difficult to dismiss what we're saying, right? Just having the academics in this space, the PhDs in this space, right? It just, it helps to legitimize us. And that's why also I'm careful on what I say and how I say it, because I know I don't just represent me, right? And Gigi just knocked it out the park. He just knocked it out the park, you know. And on that note, y'all, Mr. Z got errands to run, things to do, phone calls to make, right? And Yeah, I'm gonna be up for a little while, so but I do have to run some errands. Um, yeah, y'all have a great rest of your day. So let's do our outro. I'll pause right there. Enough piece of chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. I don't know, Doctor Thunder, are you starting a stream? But y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Um, yeah, please, for the love of God, go check out other non-Manosphere content so y'all can have a worldly understanding of the world, right? And um, and I'll pause right there, right? And y'all have a great. And Dr. Thunder said yes. So yes, he is starting up a stream. So y'all go check out Dr. Thunder's stream. And I will truly pause right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.